It began with an assassin driving a power blade into the heart of Geronitus Helmore. Quite who had sent the killer was unknown, but it quickly became clear that Lord Helmer hadn't left instructions for his own succession, and dozens of his children leaped to declare themselves the rightful ruler of Necromunda, enlisting under Hive gangs to do their dirty work and securing their power base. However, soon another player entered the game. An alliance between House Escher and the mysterious Lady Credo soon sparked an uprising that flared up across Necromunda as secret supporters and rebel gangs chipped away at House Helmore's power. Fighting soon spread out into the Ash Wastes, centered on the vital north-south intersection of Cinderak City, where House Goliath gangs sought to conquer the settlement and free themselves from a slow starving inflicted by Escher's grip on Hive Primus trade routes. While Cinderak City burned, the competition for the seat of House Helmore reached an inflection point. Lady Haira Helmore, cruel, deadly, and 13th in line to the throne, orchestrated the assassination of a dozen of her siblings and secured her place on the throne of Necromunda, even as the rebel gangs sought to bring down the Imperial House. The new de facto ruler sought to quell her domain with overwhelming force and brutality. In the end, it was Lady Credo and her Escher allies who seized control of Cinderak City, thereby cutting House Helmore's control over the Palatine cluster. This mysterious noble disappeared as soon as the city fell, and thousands of displaced residents were forced to strike out across the wastes to escape the ensuing violence, where they were met by a man known as the Prophet. Soon, a colossal pilgrimage had formed around this magnetic preacher, convinced that the Emperor's divine light shone through him. Outlaw redemptionist gangs, dispossessed scum, and pilgrims in their thousands clustered around the Prophet before setting off in a grueling march towards Hive Primus. Not content to let this rebel threaten the heart of Necromunda, Lady Hiera called upon hundreds of enforcer precincts to suppress this crusade, only to learn that their destination was not the Palatine cluster at all, but rather the cathedral hive of Tenemos. Now numbering in the millions, the column of fanatics fell prey to the innumerable dangers of the Ash Wastes, but carried on regardless. The Prophet himself continued to preach the word of his lost saint, and as they reached the walls of Temenos, many of the enforcers defending the hive had taken up the torch. Cardinal Armand, head of the Imperial cult on Necromunda, was among the converts, and threw open the city gates as the great pilgrimage approached. The vaults below were finally within the prophet's reach. None could predict what would emerge from the vaults beneath Tenemos. In a shining, perfect metal body, Ozostium, the ancient master of the fallen house Arthranus, rose from the darkness. Lady Credo and the prophet had found their master, and in a few short cycles, the immortal lord had bent the entirety of Hive Tenemos to his will, swearing to enact his revenge on House Helmer. Ozostium Arthranus awakened sleeper souls across the planet, and soon entire armies of white-clad soldiers with archaeotech weapons were seen marching through the hives and wastes. Combined with the embedded agents of Lady Credo, these mysterious devotees began tearing down what little remained of imperial power on Necromunda, severing alliances and burning factorums. While chaos engulfs the hives, the notorious bounty hunter and wayward offspring of Geronitus Elmar, Cal Jericho, took the chance to abscond with the stasis casket in which his not-quite-dead father lay. In nothing short of a miracle, he made off with his prize, despite the intervention of Lady Hira herself, though in his haste to leave the Palatine Spire, he left a single security door yawning wide open. Now things are looking dire indeed for House Helmore. Lady Hira is shut up in her hive behind layers of defenses. The prophet's word infests every hive on Necromunda, and an ancient enemy of unbelievable power walks the planet once more. It is a time to make fame and fortune. It is a time to be enterprising. It is the time of the Aranthian Succession.